22 and a half. 22 and a half. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the 22 and a half degree bend. And we talked about the 10 degree bend, if you remember this video. If not, then now is your chance to literally go back to the other video that will be down in the description and watch about this. Now, we're going to start this video a little bit different. We're going to talk about this bender right off because I didn't think I said this in the last video. Today I'm going to say it. Look at this bender, guys. Let me shine that light on it. Yeah, it's good. Good lighting. All right. So if you see this, it says 6.0, 2.6, 2, 1.4, and 1.2. Now, those are your, if you remember, that's your multipliers. Those numbers are your multiplier for your degrees and bends. So if you don't know, you can look here. It says 10. You flip over, it's 60, or 6.0 rather. So 6 times. 22, 2.6. 30, 2. 45, 1.4. 60, 1.2. So you don't have to remember. So if it's on 30, do I multiply by 2 or is it 4 or so on and so forth? Now, there is another degree bending that we're not going to talk about, and that is the 15 degree. On a 15, I used to bend a lot of those when I did rigid. When I was traveling the United States, I really haven't been a 15 in a long time. If you look on this bender, there's no 15 mark. So just so you're aware, if you're going to bend any degrees other than what's on this, chances are you might need a protractor. And we can go and we can talk about protractors later if you guys are interested in it. But we're talking about these hand benders right now. So our next bender is 22 and a half. Here it says 22, so we're going to call it 22 and a half, and we're going to call it at 2.6. Now let's talk about the difference. And the reason why I am doing these videos is because of this right here, guys. I'm going to show you all the way up to 60 how much real estate actually gets sucked down. At the end, we're going to have a combined video with all these bends, and I'm going to start showing you guys how to figure out where you need to decide, do I need a 10? Do I need a 60? Or do I need a 75 or whatever? All right, I'm going to show you. But right now we're going to just learn how to bend all these things, talk about it, and we're going to go on. So no more talking. Let's get to bending. I'm going to show you the marks on the tape measure, and we'll go from there. I'm not sure if I said it in the last video or not, but I do know that I did say that I always hold down 2 inches on my pipe. Now, there's several reasons why I do it. Obviously, because it looks better if they're all uniform. But let's say you measure your pipe and you are 1 inch long, okay, on this end. Well, you have all this real estate right here, if you can see, right where my Sharpie is, from basically from right here to manipulate to go into your box or whatever. You have roughly probably about 1 5/8 inches you can cut off if need. Now you don't want to. You want to make sure you try to get as close as possible. And with this series ends, another series will pick up, like I mentioned, to show you how to use this. And I'm going to put conduit somewhere where we can see how to measure from one point to another to get the bend. That has been asked again on my channel. How do I know where to start my bends? How do I know how to do this? So we're going to get all this. It's going to be a lot of conduit bending. So we're always going to start. My chosen number is always this. 2 inches or more, but at least whatever I like to stick with 2 inches. You can go 3 inches, you can go whatever you want. But I like to go at 2 inches. And on 3/4, I always go at least 3 inches and so on and so forth as you're going up. So we're starting 2 inches. And what are we doing? We're doing 4-inch bend. So we know that 22, let's look at the bender. All right. The bender says 2.6. So what does that mean? Well, let's get the whiteboard and show you. So we got our 2-inch mark. Now we got to know where the next mark goes. So let's do some math and figure this out. All right. So we have 2.6. And we have to times that by 4. Times 4. We're going to do this longhand because I don't have my calculator here, so we'll see if I can do it right. 6 times 4 is 24. We'll carry your 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 9, 10. 10. 10.4. All right, so 10.4. So what we need to do is we need to have 10 inches, 10.4 inches between each mark. Now, I'm going to go on a limb here and say that last video I did, you can probably use the math to do this. I will say that usually what normal electricians will do, I mean, there are some that try to be really, really precise. Most of them will just eliminate the 0.4 and just say 10 inches between your marks. That's up to you if you want to do that or not. I'm just going to leave the 10 inch, and I can almost guarantee you that it will be 4 inches by the time I get done. Not, we'll tweak it, but we'll see. So we know now we're going to say that there's 10 inches between our marks. Now, do you remember what I told you last time? You can just, so we need 10 inches, right? We already held it over 2, so we can mark it at 12, remember? Because if you pull this down on the 2, the time you mark it down here, it'll be 10 inches. Now I'm going to show you. So there's the 2-inch mark right there, as you can see. I'm going to put it on 12. Get my Sharpie out. Now that Sharpie is French for Sharpie. We're going to put the 12-inch mark right here. And always don't use Sharpie unless you want to get yelled at by your journeyman. I said last time, you can do what you want. I'm doing it for the video purposes. So we will go ahead and we will put our little ring around it. Coontail, if you want to call it that. All right, let's see if there is 10 inches between the marks. Let's see. So there's our first mark, and then bada boom, bada bang. Can you see? 10 inches. So we'll put this aside. We'll put our Sharpie, which is French for Sharpie. All right, we're going to move our little foot thing out of here. Pull it up. We're going to snap it into the 22 spot. Should snap in. You'll hear it when it snaps in. Make sure I'm kind of close. Yep. Actually, that one didn't snap in, but that's 22. Let me make sure though, right? It only takes a second to figure it out. Yeah, that's it. That's definitely it. Listen. That stepped in that time. I don't think it was in last time, but it is now. So not to laugh. Yes, somebody did ride the chicken and it was me. All right. Remember, the lighting's terrible over here, of course. Oh, must be the opposite way here. All right. So we're going to take our mark. Remember, there's an arrow on both sides. Right here's the arrow. And if you can't see it from looking at it like I did, there's a little notch right on the top, too, on this new Klein bender. All right, so we're going to put our mark at the line or the arrow. We're going to pull down until the conduit hits this and stops. So let's do it. All right, and we're gonna, remember, we're gonna roll it, push through, see the front, we're gonna roll it up. We're gonna look down, okay. And we're going to pull down until we reach that point again. All right, this should be 22.5. We're gonna take it over there, measure it and see what happens. All right, I could lie to you and tell you that this thing was perfect because I already put it up here and it was just over just a smidgen. So it could have been when I drew this line around here because it's not exactly level. But hey, but it is pretty doggone close. It's still just a very smidgen high. So like I said, the 0.4, I just usually, most electricians just, so, but do you see what I'm talking about? The difference here between 10 degrees and 22? Do you see the real estate? I mean, if you match the bends, at least the first bend, look how much difference it is. That's pretty incredible. I mean, do you see the difference? How I'm talking about how you've got to decide, you know, how much room do you have? I mean, because here you got all, on the 10 degree, you got all this room. And then here on this 22 degree, you only have that much. So, all right, what are we gonna do? We are gonna write on here, 20, uh-oh, my Sharpie, there it goes, 22.5 degree, or D-E-G-R-E-E, degree. All right, the next one will be the 30 degree bend, and then the 45, and so on and so forth. So I want you to take a look at this. The difference is crazy on how much real estate you have between this one and this one. Oh, I should have showed you guys, I guess, how when this was up here, how high it was. So what it looked like, it kind of was like this right here. So what I did, I took it back in the bender, and I just pulled it down just enough. Now, if you're bending this on a job site or whatever, chances are that wouldn't even be an issue. But for the camera, I wanted it to be magnifique. So I wanted it to make sure it looked good. So that's why I fixed it. So anyway, this is your 22 degree bend. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that I've never used the bend, because I haven't. Usually you say I'm not going to stand here and tell you that. Hey, easy. Anyway, let's just forget that. But I've never really honestly used a 22.5 degree bend that I remember of, other than in a 3-point saddle. Now, next time I come on here, you will see the 30 degree bend, and you'll see how much difference that one is compared to this one right here, which is pretty crazy, right? So anyway, what we're gonna do is 10, the 22, 30 will be next. So guys, if you guys are interested in how to bend a 3-point saddle, well, I have a video will be coming up right now. You should be able to see it. You should be able to click on it and watch it, and I'll see you on that video. If you want to see what happens next, make sure you like and subscribe. God bless, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.